Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 36 of our Let's Play for Football Manager 2016. Okay, today I think what we're going to do, so we've got the Champions League, the first knockout round, the draw for that in a few days. But before that, we've actually got the game against Utrecht, so the Eredivisie game against Utrecht. So what I think we'll do, probably skip through that game, and we'll pick things up, we'll pick the episode back up on the day of the Champions League draw, so that should be quite interesting to see who we get there, so it'll probably determine our fate. Alright guys, so I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back shortly. Okay guys, and we're back. So it is the Champions League first knockout round draw today. Before we get to that, we had a fairly solid 1-0 victory over Utrecht, which was good. John Sato got the winning goal there. It's fairly late on. Sort of struggled to break them down initially, but made a few sort of tactical changes in the second half, a few substitutions which worked, and we ended up running away with it fairly comfortably, which was good. Alrighty, so we are going to jump into the draw. Very, very interesting to see how we go here. So we're assuming we're going to be we're unseeded, of course, yep. So we're probably going to get one of the good teams, which should be interesting. So we're going to run through it. Alright, we're first. Oh, so we could get anybody. Oh, dearie, dearie, dearie. Alright, who do we get? Man City. Oh, that's rough, isn't it? Oh, dearie me, that's harsh. Well, I suppose it was always going to happen. We were always going to get a good team. They finished third last season. They're third this season. So, I mean, they're not all conquering. So, you know, we're in there with a shot. Obviously, they would have a far better team than what we've got. But, yeah. But we, can do what we can do. They've actually, well, they bought Ronaldo. When on earth did they buy Ronaldo? When did that happen? This season. 20 million. They bought him for 20 million for Real Madrid. That's crazy. He bought him for 20 million. I suppose he's 33, 32. So only 32. His physicals haven't really declined at 32. Haven't declined at all, actually. And like last season for Real Madrid, he still scored 22 goals and 5 assists in 33 games. And they bought him for 20 million. What a bargain. Dear me. Interesting. Alright. Well, he's been doing well for them. 5 goals in 10 games. And 1 assist. Wow. Well, that makes things a little bit harder, doesn't it? Alrighty. Anyway, we will overcome. We will be fine, I'm sure. So David Silva unregistered. He must have been injured for a while. I can't imagine he would be unregistered. Though looks like he's not even playing this season, which is really quite surprising. For a player of his quality. 30, still only 30. He's actually transfer listed, wow. 3.6 million, dear me. It's a bit scary. Interesting. All right, well, there's a few interesting things that we've noticed. Yeah. So when was our first one? So it's not for a while. It's not for another until February. Wow, that's for ages away. So we've got a whole bunch of Eredivisie and Dutch Cup games to get through before then. I don't think we even have any Holland games scheduled, do we? I think we've had our last sort of friendlies. Yeah, we did. So a victory and a draw there, and there's nothing else queued up for next year. So we'll have to look at doing that. So the next one, the earliest opportunity we've got is the 20th of March. So obviously that's going to be quite a while. So it's going to be Eredivisie and Dutch Cup for a while for us guys, until we get to the Man City game in February, which should be very, very interesting for us. Interesting. Alrighty, so what are we going to do? Where are we? We're in 11th of December, everything's going fairly well. We're sitting on top of the Eredivisie, although Vitesse, I think, are pretty much even with us. So Vitesse, so 70, oh no, they're still, so we're actually a game behind like a few of the other teams like PSV and Heracles, but Vitesse are equal games with us, but actually a game behind, 3 points behind. So yeah, so we are sitting on top, which is good, doing fairly well, fairly comfortable at the moment. I think we're probably not playing amazingly well, probably done really well in the Champions League, probably better than we've done in the Eredivisie. We're going to look at making maybe a few little changes, tweaks to our tactics, try and make things a little bit more, get some more goals through. So I think defensively we're going really, really well. I think just offensively we're struggling a little bit, probably not scoring quite as many goals as I would like. So I may look at changing that a little bit, see how we go. Anyway guys, what I think we'll do, I suppose we may as well run through this Heracles game. So anyways, Dutch Cup is going to be one of our big focuses. So Heracles is next. As you can see, they're actually sitting second in the Eredivisie table, so it's definitely not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. So we'll have to definitely on and make sure we're playing well. So where are you? You're Austrian, right? So I'm not interested. Cool. So I might as well do a little bit of scouting on Heracles before we jump into the game. See what they're all about. So jump into their team report, their summary. Interesting. So Thomas Bruns. Looks like he's probably one of the main men. So he's actually a midfielder, which is interesting, but he's their top goal scorer. 6 goals, 4 assists in 20 starts. 2 penalties. And yeah, so obviously doing very, very well. Quite a decent player there. Reasonable on his left foot, so we could potentially show him onto his left. And Brian Verboom is the other main man. So he's actually left back. Wow. Got 5 assists. And he's fairly quick. Rubbish positioning though. So we could actually, even though he does get some assists and stuff, we could actually potentially exploit his flank given his positioning is so rubbish. So he does have the pace to get back. Like his work rate and stuff's not amazing either. So composure's not great either. So interesting. It actually could be a bit of an exploit there. We could play him, whichever flank he plays on, because obviously you can see there. Oops. He can play either flank, either side. He's natural on both sides, which is quite rare. So anyway, all right, that's good. So look at their overview here. So there's no one really. We've already seen a couple of their main guys, Thomas Bruns and Brian. There's their main guys we've got to keep an eye on. So we look at their tactics. So they always start with a 4-1-2-3 with the DM, which is good. It's actually what we're playing, isn't it? It's the same as what we're playing. So same formation, which works for me. Sort of positionally, we sort of cancel each other out pretty much. Leaves both our DMs free, so I haven't got a problem with that. I'm going to back ourselves to actually have the better deep lane playmaker, so that is fine. Looks like they do switch formations at times, or to a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, so I'll keep an eye on that during the game, make sure they don't sort of switch on us if they're losing late. So look at some of their goals now, where they get the goals from. Most of the goals through the middle, concede through the middle as well. Assist locations all down the left, so I'm assuming that's going to be probably a combination of their attacking midfielder left and also their left back, as we've seen, gets a bunch of assists there. Actually, you can see down the left as well, which is probably not surprising given what we've seen with Mr. Brian Verboom there. His positioning and stuff isn't great, so he probably does leave the flank exposed quite a bit down there. They haven't actually conceded down the right either, so I'm thinking probably if he plays on the left, Mr. Brian, we'll probably attack down the left. We'll probably start that off as our tactic. We'll actually exploit the left flank, see if we can get some joy down there. But apart from that, everything's probably pretty even and stuff. Just fine. Goal types, mainly placed shots. Goal assists, a lot of through balls, some crosses, passes, fairly even through there, so nothing too major that we've really got to notice there. Quick look at their players in here. Already seen their top goal scorer, but who's their second? So it's one of their strikers. He's not particularly quick, relatively. He's got good off-the-ball movement though. Good dribbling, good technique. So he actually can either play as an inside forward or a striker. So he's been playing at striker mainly. So it's probably where he's going to start, given they're playing a lone striker formation. So that's interesting. So he's only reasonable on his right, so he could potentially show him onto his right if we need to. Alright, so that's quite interesting. We'll keep an eye on that, see what they're actually going to line up with first. Come to the match preview. So this is obviously predicted starting lineup, so I'm not sure why they haven't got Mr. Brian Verboom in there, unless he's injured. I swear he wasn't injured though. Interesting. 3 players out injured. I don't think he was injured, was he? How do we get back? Where is he? There. No, he's not. He's really low on conditioning though, which is probably the reason maybe he's not starting. Which is probably good news for us. Alright, so we're just going to go out and play our normal game, our normal tactic, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to have Karsdorp on the right. I'll try to do a quick pick here. Alright, so let's stuff that up. Alright, so Karsdorp on the right. We'll have Boylerson on the left, I think. Yep, he's been a little bit better form than Mitchell Dykes. Which is fine. For Hendricks and Veltman in the middle, which is, I'm fairly now put Sverchenko in for Hendricks. Donny van der Beek's not going to play there. I think we're going to have do a Nemanja G and Klaassen combo in the middle, which is our strongest lineup, given I think it's our strongest lineup anyway, and given that we're a bit of a focus on the Dutch Cup at the moment, I think that probably makes sense. So Victor Fischer's injured, Yunus is down on conditioning, so El Ghazi looks like he's going to start on the left, even though it's not his natural spot. Milik's injured as well, so a little bit light on. some of our attacking players. So we could put Zincraven on the left. It's not. Yeah, he's not really an inside forward though, which leaves me a little bit skeptical about doing that. But sort of our only options are to play Eunice under strength, play him on the left, or basically run with this and just because like CM Jong's pretty low on conditioning as well, and El Ghazi's not really a natural there. CM Jong can't play on the left, can he? No, he can't. Alrighty, so how long is Milik out for? 2 to 4 days. Fisher's 2 to 5 days. So anyway, I think that's what we have to do, guys. I think we're just going to have to run with that. I think that's probably our best option to go with, so we'll run with that. See how things go. Where are we? Yep, so they've run with that, and yeah, so Mr. Brian Verboom isn't starting. So given they get a lot of their attacks down the left, we're going to look at here. So Mr. Jonsson. Good finishing, but not a whole lot else. Fairly quick. Some of his mentors and stuff are really... He's actually really sort of a young guy, so where are they weakest? Are they weakest on the left or the right? Probably left still, I think. So he's actually a natural right back. He's actually playing on the left, where he's only accomplished. So positioning's not amazing. He's actually not very quick either. Good bravery, though. Good marking, good tackling. He's not much of an offensive player, though, so I would have thought... Alright, I think we're actually going to still attack down the left. I think given that this guy's such a young player, his work rate and stuff's an amazing teamwork. Obviously tackling and marking are rubbish. He's a little bit inexperienced, and also given this guy isn't particularly quick, hopefully we can get some joy down the left given that El Ghazi is fairly quick. He's got sort of good marking and tackling which could save him, but positioning's not amazing either. Stuff like that. So I think we'll give that a go. We'll attack down the left, see how that works for us. I think everything here we're just going to leave it play our natural game. So I'm going to jump in here first and go to exploit the left flank. See how that goes. Jump back to the team talk and say come out here and win the match, which we should. And then do the little faith thing, which seems to work for our guys because they're quite young. Alright guys, I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back at some stage with a progress update. Okay guys, and we had a 1-0 victory. It took us until extra time, which is a bit disappointing. We seemed we dominated the match, but we got there in the end, so that's really all that matters. I showed the goal here, which was, as we mentioned, in extra time. So it was Eunice scored a really good goal. Brought him on in the second half, given that CM de Jong was really tired and stuff, and there Eunice just tucked it away. So a good sort of initial shot by Donny van den Beek off the post, and then Eunice just tucked it away. So took off Sam de Jong sort of in the second half, moved El Ghazi up front, and then brought on Eunice on the left, so ended up being a good decision. Obviously, because he's quite quick and stuff, he had a lot of the joy down the left, which sort of probably was end up being the deciding factor. A little bit of analysis here, trying to maybe work out why we sort of struggled to break them down. I did have a look through the game, couldn't really see a whole lot. Probably I'm going to suspect looking at Heracles. No, they actually were quite open, which is interesting. We sort of, like our exploiting down the left flank, like it was getting a lot of joy, but for some we just couldn't get the end product. So I ended up dropping back the defensive line a little bit to try and draw them out, because they were sitting relatively deep, as you can see here. A fair bit deeper than what we were anyway. So we sort of dropped the defensive line a little bit in the second half, which seemed to work. We seemed to get a little bit more, draw them out a little bit, which gave us a little bit more space, but we sort of were just struggling a little bit for space. So sort of noticing that's a little bit what's happening, is we sort of are struggling. We're getting a lot of the possession and all that kind of stuff, and some decent shots and things, but we're struggling to sort of break teams down a little bit. So maybe I'm going to maybe look at whether we need to start doing things like dropping the defensive line back a little bit, not maybe pushing up so much and restricting the space for ourselves too much. Maybe we should play. I'm loath to go any wider than what we are, because they're still playing fairly wide. I suppose we could go very wide and maybe try and really stretch the play out. Obviously, because that's an offensive thing anyway. It doesn't matter in the defense. So I don't know, guys. I'm a little bit undecided yet, but anyway. So we see that. Like, I think our formation was fairly good if you sort of look at it. Obviously, like that's the Eunice in the second half, and we had El Ghazi in the first. I don't know. I'm not quite sure really. So if you have a look at that, What about some movement here? So you actually see, even though we had a lot of, we were like exploiting the left flank, had most of our joy down the right, through Karsdorp, which is obviously our right back, so he was getting like a lot of space. So maybe, given we do have, I mean, because we're sort of naturally set up to play a lot better on a lot more sort of, I guess, close in on the right hand side, given the fact that we have the playmaker out there, which is obviously, you know, a lot sort of drops back a little bit, so it sort of encourages a lot of link up play on the right there, whereas our left hand side is a little bit more gaps and stuff, so it can be a little bit, our left attacking, our inside four can get a little bit isolated sometimes. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. We'll have a look at that. What else we got here? Any major mistakes we've got to look at? Some missed interceptions. There's one here from Karsdorp. That was from a free kick. I'm not worried about that one because I remember seeing it because that was in extra time. Apart from that, there was nothing major in our sort of any danger area in there, which is fine. So I'm not worried about any of that. Scoring chance, I only had a couple of clear-cut ones. One from Yunus, which he scored, and then one from El Ghazi in the 36th minute. So we'll click on that, have a quick look. So looking for, where is he? El Ghazi. Oh, there. Yeah, so that was one he should have scored, definitely. Alrighty, so that's fine. Interceptions already seen. Tackles, tackles. One tackles, yeah, lost tackles, yep. Aerial challenges, one lost, yeah, already seen those. Crosses intercepted. So 17 obviously is Boylerson. Interesting. Wonder whether we should actually maybe start. Sometimes what I think is happening if I was looking at our plays, like, because we get a lot of possession and we sort of do move the ball fairly slowly, like we're not particularly quick. So what sort of seems to happen is we sort of give the other team a lot of time to really get back and pack the box. And then so like when we send crosses in and stuff, the box is packed and there's no real space. And obviously the defender's always going to have the advantage, which is why a lot of our crosses don't generally work out. So I wonder whether we could either maybe up the tempo a little bit to get the ball moving a little bit quicker, which can unlock space. It's going to come at a cost of possession and probably pass completion, but we have really high levels of those anyway. So, and given we're quite, we're probably obviously generally, like especially in the Eredivisie, we're going to be a far more technical team than our opposition. So we could do that. We could maybe look at upping the tempo. Like I said, we could maybe drop the defensive line back to normal. We did sort of increase it. I think it was the second season, wasn't it? Up to slightly higher. So we could look at dropping back down to normal. We could potentially even look at maybe doing something like moving the mentality up to standard from counter, and then maybe dropping the defensive line down to, maybe just to maybe to normal, even maybe drop it back a notch. Because obviously lifting the mentality up to standard is going to push up the defensive line. So if we drop it back, maybe if we do that, maybe we could do that, because that's going to like increase sort of the attacking impetus of the team. So it's going to increase like speed and passing length and things like that. So that could be something we could try maybe for a little while. Maybe we'll up the thing to the mentality to standard, see how that goes, and we'll drop the defensive line back a bit and probably leave everything else, because that's, like I said, it's automatically going to increase tempo, passing length, and attacking sort of impetus as well. So it's going to make our team a little bit more attacking, but if we sort of drop our defensive line and things like that and don't change our player roles, I think we should maybe be okay defensively. So that's what I'm going to do, guys. Now that I've talked it through, now I've sort of convinced myself, I'm going to give that a whirl. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump in here now and do it. We're going to jump it up to standard. We're going to jump in here and do slightly deeper on the defensive line to make sure that we do have a decent defensive line. We don't push up too much. We're not sort of restricting the space too much. Let's increase the tempo a bit. We could even potentially, like sometimes actually sort of end up moving the passing directness up to mixed, just to try and unlock the play a little bit, or the opposition I should say, just to try and unlock that a little bit. So we've got a bit more expressive, which I think is probably a good one for from an attacking sense. Gives our guys a little bit more license to do things. So yeah, anyway, alrighty, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to run with that. A bunch of our guys need some rests. So a couple of our guys needed some long rests, which is interesting. So I'm actually going to talk to them. So we'll leave Sam Dion. We'll talk to him in the menu G. And alright, so he wants to play, which is fine. So we will leave that. What about Boylerson? Alright, so Boylerson does want to rest. So he's not going to play next time around. So we're going to give him a rest for 3 days. What about Sam Dion? Whoops. Alright, feels fine, which is fine. So we'll keep playing him as well. We'll actually give our guys a rest day or so, though, or probably maybe a couple of rest days in here. Suppose they have a fairly packed schedule, so we'll do that. Give them a couple of rest days before the Willem 2 game, and then maybe even another rest day before Excelsior, because after that we've got the winter break, so we'll have a fair bit of room for them. I'm just a little bit worried about getting injured, because once you start getting some like really low conditioning and some players getting some rest icons, it shows that obviously the chance of injuries and stuff increases quite a bit. So what I think we may do, we'll see the Dutch Cup quarterfinal draw. See how we go there. Actually, world rankings now that we're managing. So Holland's, we're still in 22nd position, which is fun. So what I think we'll do, we'll see the quarterfinal draw, then we'll run through, I'll skip through the next 2 Eredivisie games and probably even the mid-season, the winter break. Mourinho's been sacked from Chelsea. Where are they sitting? They're sitting in 8th. Oh, dear me. How have they gone last few seasons? They've gone so 2nd and 4th. Not too bad, really. She's not a very patient man, so that's interesting. Yeah, so like I said, we will skip through, probably skip through the winter break as well, and we'll pick things up maybe, start of the season, next season, or next year, I should say. And yeah, we might do that. So we'll see the Dutch Cup quarterfinal draw first, then we'll take a break, and we'll be back in a month or so. Alrighty, quarterfinal draws, here we go. So we get, PSV, probably the hardest team in the whole damn competition left. Yeah, it's PSV. Anyway, we beat them. Hopefully we don't have to, imagine if we come up against Feyenoord again in the final. Oh, that'd be epic. That'd be big after our revenge game, our terrible game last year. That would be a big game for us. Alright guys, I'm going to pause the video, and like I said, we'll be back probably early next year, in January sometime. After the winter break, after our guys have had a rest, all that kind of stuff, we will be back then. So I'll see you all soon. Okay everyone, and transfer silly season is well and truly upon us. Thought I'd just jump back in and show you guys a few interesting things that are happening at the moment. So we've had a huge amount of offers for our players. None really convincing at the moment. Probably the biggest one is for Sillerson. So Porto actually offered 15 million. Negotiated up to 15 million. I'm still not really happy with that. I think Sillerson's by far and away our best goalkeeper. He actually come to us and said he wanted to move to a better division, but I'm going to try and actually keep hold of him. I'm probably not going to accept anything less than around the 20 million mark, which is a lot for a goalkeeper. So if they, he actually does have a 20 million minimum release clause for foreign clubs. So I'm just going to stick to that and say, well, if you want him, then you got to pay that much for him. So we'll see. If they do that, then there's not really much I can do about it. Everything else, I mean, they're all pretty sort of nothing major offers, sort of pretty low ball offers for most of them. A couple of interesting sort of transfer listings though. So the biggest one probably interesting for us is Daryl Janmaat at Barcelona. So moved to Barcelona last season to 25.5 million, played 21 games. This season he's actually still performing well, but he's actually been transfer listed. He'll be available for around about 7 million apparently. We're asking price is 7 million. I'm actually really tempted to go for this. Like, I know it's not really maybe something that would happen in real life, even if he's like a Feyenoord player, but he's a brilliant right back, and I know we've got couple of good right backs in Karsdorp and Van Rijn, but like if we do a bit of a comparison, like I think Karsdorp's our best right back. So here we are, Karsdorp. So if we do a comparison here he plays, so the right back for most of ours is a complete wing back support. So if we do a bit of a comparison here, obviously got Daryl Janmaat on the left. So you're looking through, like, especially it's probably the mental stuff here is where he really excels. But even like some of the technical stuff here, like better marking, tackling, better first touch, better dribbling. Mentals is where he really shines though. Physicals are fairly sort of even. He's a little bit slower, better stamina. Yeah, so the physicals are fairly even, but mentals and stuff are a bit bananas. So that is interesting. So I'm thinking that yeah. So obviously we've got, if we get Janmaat, thinking probably Karsdorp is the best. So do a bit of analysis between Van Rijn and Karsdorp. I think we did it before and Karsdorp come up a little bit better. Compare with Van Rijn. Complete wingback support. So Karsdorp's on the left. Yeah, so Karsdorp's a little better. Yeah, pretty much better in a lot of the key stats. Physicals are fairly even. Mentals though is probably the big one. especially like teamwork, vision, work rate off the ball, better decision making, concentration, bravery as well. I actually quite like bravery in defenders. It's quite a good stat to have. Better marking, better tackling, better crossing, and then Van Ryn's got a couple better dribbling and first touch, agility, balance. Yeah. So I think, given that Karsdorp's obviously a bit younger as well, I'm not sure if he has really any more potential, but given he's a bit younger, he may have a little bit. I think what we'll do, we'll get Janmaat, depending on like his wages. I actually didn't check that. I just noticed he was 105k before, which is a lot of money. Obviously, we could afford it. What does our scout report say? Here we go. Wage, yeah, so he's going to demand a lot of money. Oh, that's a lot of money. How much do we have? Well, we've got a huge amount of money to spend. Like, money's not a problem for Ajax, but I mean, it is really getting the wage budget up there, isn't it? It's getting up there really high for like, especially like an Eredivisie club. Well, we've got a huge amount of money. Like, we've got 83 million in the bank though. We've got a huge transfer budget. We've got a huge amount of wage budget as well. So there's a lot of money though. So what's our highest spend? I don't think it's anywhere near that, is it? Squad contract wage 49k. So Sam De Jong, Klaassen, then Karsdorp's on a fair bit. Yeah, so I'd pretty much be doubling our highest wage. I don't think we have any matched highest earner clauses. I think maybe, I thought AM might have had one. Does Klaassen have one? No, I don't think we do, because I think I generally don't like doing it, so I sort of get rid of it if I can. No, so no one else must have it, because if Sam De Jong doesn't, obviously, if Sam De Jong doesn't have it, then he's the highest earner, and then no one else has it. Otherwise, they would be even. So, all right, that's cool. Yeah, so it would be a lot of money. But how much is Van Rijn? He's only on what 19, isn't he? So, if we got him, say, for 100k for Janmaat, we'd be increasing our wage budget by about 80k. So, it's not ridiculous money. He's like a massive improvement as well on Karsdorp and Van Rijn. He's 28, so it's probably another four seasons, probably maybe at the top, before his physical start declining. But you know, I would hope that we would have won the Champions League well and truly before then. So we sort of are looking a little bit more short term now. Like, I'm probably not looking at this making this, especially like as Let's Play. I may make it like a long term save, like off video. But in terms of making like a Let's Play on the channel, I don't think it's going to be like a really massively long Let's Play. So once we once we're in the Champions League, probably will probably be the end of it. I think maybe we'll try and do maybe a back-to-back, see if we can win it the second time around. Once we're in the Champions League, that probably will be it, I think. Yeah, so I think that's what we'll do. Given that Van Rijn's actually got wanted as well from Crystal Palace, it's only minor interest. It doesn't have any asking price, but I think if we offer him out, it's only valued at 3.5. So if we could get maybe around the 10 million mark, or maybe even 7 to actually cover the transfer fee from Janmaat, so maybe we offer him out to 4.7, I should say. Maybe we'll do that. We'll put his offer at 10. See if we get see if we get any bites there. Then we'll actually offer him out and we'll say 10 million and transfer list him. So there we go. See how that goes. Yeah, so I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to get Janmaat in. I think, like I said, he's a massive improvement at right back. I think he would be a really, really good player. Good for our reputation, all that kind of stuff as well. So I think what we'll do, we'll make an offer for 7 million, which is the asking price. We would do that, make an offer, which would be good. We could get Robin in, I think, if we really wanted to. I don't think it's really worth it though. This is an really old one, so he's like on too much money though. I think he'd probably want the same amount of money. He's 33, his physicals are starting to decline. He's got really good sort of technical stuff, but I don't think it's really worth it, to be honest. It's not really worth doing, even for a tutor type of thing. A few other people like Van Ginkel, yeah, would be interesting. Like, he's obviously 25, current international. Well, he hasn't really played for a little bit, I guess. But his stats really aren't out to it for me, to be honest. I think we've actually got better players, like a lot of it. Like, we've got it really sort of stacked in midfield. So I think sort of getting him is not really going to do any benefit in any way, shape or form. His contract does expire in 5 months, so you never know. If we get like a ridiculous offer for one of our big players, we could maybe get him in. But I'm thinking probably not. I think he's probably not really up to scratch. And apart from that, there's not really anyone else that we're interested in. Jean-Paul Boichis, he actually, could potentially. I suppose he's 23 years old. Has been playing. He did play last time around, didn't he? He's in the squad. Well, he's actually not a bad player, is he? He's quite a good player. He's more of a winger. He's definitely not like an advanced playmaker, I guess, as much. Well, he does have good passing, good vision, good flair, good off the ball, good teamwork, good technical first touch. So he actually is a pretty decent advanced playmaker. So interesting. Some of his mentals are a little bit weak. His physicals are quite good. He's actually quite quick. So he could actually be a fairly good player out on the right. Interesting. How much do they want for him? 8 million. I think what we'll do, we don't want him really now. He's not wanted by anybody. No, so he's not wanted by anybody. So obviously he has been playing for the national team. We played him in the last fixture. He was sort of our backup right guy, I think. Yeah, he was behind Robin. And yeah, so I mean, if we lose one of our guys, like I'm thinking probably not. Like, again, we're probably a little bit overloaded. We don't really need guys, and probably only looking for like really outstanding players. Yeah, there's not really anyone here at the moment that we're really interested in terms of, you know, actually being an outstanding player. So I'll probably only be looking at, to be honest, at this point, I'll probably only be looking for current internationals, current Dutch players. And like, you know, players like Jan Maat who are actually going to improve a position on our team. I think that, you know, we're sort of so stacked with talent and like first team players and stuff. We don't really need anyone else apart from, you know, really top quality players. Right, so that's cool. So we're going to look at Scandinavia and see there's not probably anyone really interested in here. There's no one there. What about here? Stefan Johansson, another central midfielder. Don't need him. No one else. Actually, what are you? You're a winger. You're quick. Not much else though. Yeah, so there's no one really else that we're interested in here. Mr. Colbein, he obviously used to be at Ajax. And yeah, obviously nowhere near up to what our strikers are anymore. Cool. Interesting. Not a bad player, but again, not really going to improve us. Alright, so that's really all we need to do there. So that is fine. Did I show you guys this? I don't think I did. Just actually look at the time, guys. I think I may actually end the episode here. I've probably rabbled on too much about the transfer stuff, and I think what we'll do. So last couple of games we had a 1-0 victory against Willem 2, and then a 4-2 against Excelsior. So a couple actually quite good results. Really sort of decent performances from some of our guys, which was quite pleasing to see. Some good goals. Actually, Veltman got a couple of goals as a centre back, so that was quite interesting. Yeah, so actually don't really have it's quite the Excelsior game was really quite open. Like, you know, sort of look back through our fixture list and like we hardly ever concede 2 goals really, apart from the odd occasion here and there. We definitely sort of been lacking a little bit of you know, scoring ability lately, or lack of ability to try and get the ball in the back of net. So sort of have a game like that was quite rare. But anyway, it was quite a lot of fun for me. Yeah, so what I think I'll do, guys, I'll probably end the episode here, and next time around we'll jump back into it. I'll probably play through the rest of the winter break. Like we've still got, like the next game against Royal JC is only 14 days, so it's actually not all that far away, only 2 weeks away. Yeah, I think we'll tackle all of that next time around, guys. As you can see here, actually sitting on top of the Eredivisie table by 6 points, 2 wins. The Vitesse are actually still have a game in hand, so they could cut that back to, what, 4 points, I guess, if they won their game. No, 5 points if they won their game. Yeah, still, so we're still, you know, doing fairly well, sitting on top by a fair margin. Alright, guys, in the episode here. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Hope you're enjoying this series. Let me know, comments, suggestions, feedback, all that kind of stuff would be really, really good. And as always, it'd be amazing if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. That would be enormously appreciated. Alrighty, everyone. Hope you've all had a wonderful day, and I'll see you all soon.